Look at this glow on me.
Yeah, that inner light shining.
Look at this glow on me. Look at this glow on me. Oh, on me.
So I just wanted to briefly come on here and talk about what I have been experiencing here and the shift in the energy of the place. I do know that I am to have a follow-up video in regards to the study of the chakras and the hormones, but that will not be happening this week as I felt guided or called to discuss this topic. If you don't know, then we definitely have an astrological event going on. One, it is Mercury retrograde. I'm always affected by Mercury retrograde, being a Virgo sun sign. And it definitely pulls out the emotions within me. But we also have something called, I'll be looking over here to my notes, Barbalt's Cradle. And it says, Barbalt's Cradle is a relatively rare geometric pattern forming in the sky throughout July 2026. It overlaps with Mercury retrograde in Cancer, creating a symbolic invitation to reflect on the past while preparing for a new collective chapter. So the word cradle is what sticks out to me here, in that, you know, a cradle is something that is used for a baby. So this is something that has been brought forth, birth into the world, and it is still new. And so I watched a video a while back on a channel called Serious Times, and there was this lady teaching about the great primordial mothers and some things that they came to her and gave her. And she was talking about how there is going to be a time where they bring about a change to society and balance the imbalance that currently exists in the society. And so when you you think about those two concepts, the cradle and then the great primordial mothers, I think about this being like a transition of thought and being for society in and the primordial mothers nurturing this new way of being into society. And then there's also this concept of the great primordial mothers being chaos. And a lot of times, especially when you think about our galaxy, like, you see chaos before you see order. And so, like, you have the explosion of a star that is extremely violent and volatile. And then until the forces of gravity begin to act on the star, and it, although it implodes, it also brings itself all back together into form. And so I think that with the formation of the planets and the stars and the Mercury retrograde, that the messaging is that society is being birthed into a new way of thinking. And I think, as above, so below. So I can also see this in my own small universe, in that, we also saw the awakening of Akasha on, the Vampire Lestat, which is a Black woman. And in the scene, she affirms herself in that she is, in her words, the answer. And so putting it all together, I could also identify with the rage of Akasha due to the circumstances of my life. But I've come to know that, although anger and rage can be dangerous and a dangerous fire, fire is only dangerous when you don't contain it. And so what I'm learning is my new way of being in alignment, with what's happening here now, is that I can be both full of rage and also full of love and light. And that, it does not polarize me to one side of the spectrum either way, because I welcome them both. But I also welcome them both as a purpose in my life, in that I'm allowing them to exist to move forward my evolution and my growth. And so, coming from a people-pleasing background, a lover girl background, a toxically empathetic background, what I'm seeing now is that, I'm not all just light. I am also full of darkness. And so, I think that's the lesson that I'm being taught here right now. And I think on a macro level, that's the lesson that society is being taught. But what we have to remember is that the chaos brings the order. And you cannot allow the chaos to consume you so that you just become chaos. Like, you have to direct the chaos to some kind of channel to bring the order. Yes, I don't want to say I think, but it has come to my attention that astrology is also a study of the psyche. It's not just the planets. It can also tell you, what's happening here on the external, but it can also tell you what you should be paying attention to on the internal. And so that's my message today. It is that, this is bringing about a new way of thinking and being for society and both for yourself. But you have to make your own choices to come to the conclusion that you need to for yourself. That's my video for this week. But keep watching. I will be back next week with the continuation of the series in regards to the study of the chakras and the hormones. We are on the second video in regards to the root chakra, where we are studying the hormonal component, which is tied to the adrenal gland. So if you stayed this far, thank you so much for watching. And remember to be defiant with all due defiance. And thank you so much again for watching Sacred Seat TV.